Blessings, 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 friends. I want to make sure. So last week when I recorded the video, it actually did not pick up the mic. So I'm trying to, before I get started, I want to make sure that the mic is working. But I see it going higher. So I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I'm testing it out because I can see it moving. So I just want to make sure that it's working. I don't hear myself. I feel like maybe it is picking up from the actual computer because I don't hear myself on this mic. Well, oh, oh, it is. It's clearly working. All right, my bad, people. So one of the things I realize is that a lot of this is trial and error right now at the beginning phases. So that's just what it's gonna have to be. I'm trying to figure out things. I'm gonna try to use StreamYard at some point to make sure to see if that's a better way for. Oh, you can screen share on here. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do better moving forward. Next time I'm gonna prepare for screen share so I can just show images and stuff. But I might be able to Google and still show. So anyway, welcome to Sunny Side Up YouTube channel. My name is Charlie, and I am the host over here. I am the founder of Light to Lead. Light to Lead is a resource for those who are on their journey of remembrance or healing. We provide a lot of different resources. Our most significant one is our coaching services, but we also use things like human design to help you connect back with yourself. We use the gene keys, astrology, different energy modalities, and so it is a space that has a toolkit of self-healing techniques and modalities. And I have been doing this intentionally on purpose since about 2017. And so I'm also an attorney. And so that's where I make my main money. And therefore, this year I made the decision to really start prioritizing Like to Lead. And that's why you're going to see me live. Today, we are going to talk about the sun's transit through gate 47. The sun started its transit through gate 47 on Monday, and it ends on Saturday, which is the 14th, in the evening, and then it's going to go into gate 6. So just to give y'all a little background, when it comes to the sun's transit through the lens of human design, that is what I'm talking about. Very similar to astrology, where the sun transits through the zodiac signs, and human design, the sun transits through the gates. And each gate, there's 64 gates in total. Each gate has 6 lines. And for that reason, when the sun transits through any gate, it goes through all 6 lines of that gate. And that usually takes 6.5 days. And therefore, the sun transits through a gate every 6.5 days. And so currently we are in gate 47. Last week we was in gate 64, which is so interesting because gate 64 and 47 actually creates the channel of abstraction. And so last week I went live and I just basically wanted to do a video about gate 64. So when we talk about gate 47, you have a full picture of the energy. I'm so excited to be here. This is very, very new for me. I'm just getting into this whole realm of going live. I feel like this is more my jam, and so I'm just showing up. Yeah, I just feel like when I pre-record stuff, it takes time to edit it and everything else. And so sometimes I create content and never actually post it, and it's always something. So in order to knock that part out, I just decided I'm going to go live. I'll allow myself to have notes. That way I stay on task and stay focused, and then we go from there. So today we're going to talk about gate 47. As I mentioned before, gate 47 is in the Ajna Center. The Ajna Center is an awareness center in human design. And specifically, I'm kind of tempted in my mind to try to pull up the Ajna Center, but I don't want to end up showing other stuff, even though this has officially become my laptop for streaming. So give me a second. Let me close some stuff down and see if there is a way for me to share my screen, because maybe that let's just try it out. We solo dolo. This is in early stages. I wonder. I was trying to pull up an ajna, but I probably should just talk, and next time we'll do better. Oh, we might have something. My bad. Hold on. I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna come. It's so interesting because I actually have all of this on my main computer, but I don't want to put anyone's content up. But maybe I can also. Yeah, I'll do better next time. I'll do different next time. All right. So I'm going to attempt to share. Oh. Okay. Oh, do it have to be in the tab? I can't. Okay. Hold on a second. This is my life right now. You know what? I'll be kind to myself. Because this is why we're doing this. We want to, learn all the things. We gonna. All right. Let's see if I can just. New page. All right. Yeah. I don't want to have people stuff up. So next time I'll just do better. My bad for spending time on that. Or not really. You don't try. You won't know unless you try. So I will be sure to have it posted next time. And actually, yeah, next time I'll even have the link to our article because I also, just FYI, I also, as well as doing these videos, I also follow the transit and share it on Medium. So I use the Medium platform where you can blog and everything else. I have no idea why I have the headphones on still because I can't even hear myself the way I usually can when I'm recording with my other mic. But what I was going to say is, hold on, let me take this out. I really hope the audio is good on this. But either way, we're going to make it do what it do. We're going to make it do what it do. I don't know what that's about. Welcome to the party. Okay, so this is Sunny Side Up YouTube channel, and this is all about human design insights with a sunny twist. I like to look at human design from the lens of just, I don't believe in bad charts. I don't believe in bad placements. I believe that each of us have exactly what we need for the purpose in which we are here. And that is the lens in which I look at human design. That's the lens in which I look at astrology. I don't study astrology too much. I understand energy. I interpret energy. Therefore, that's really how I know so much about astrology is through paying attention to the patterns within energy fields. And it helps me to understand astrology and the signs and the energy that each of the signs carry, right? Because they're all archetypes and we all have them in us. And because I live an experience, I usually use my own experiences and those I witness from others, and it helps me to understand life a little differently, right? That's how I'm designed to work. Everybody has their own process. That's mine. So, so Sunny Side Up is all about that. And so one of the main things we're going to do as this channel starts out is follow the transits. I'm still getting the hang of things. This is my second time doing this, going live. Last time I went live and I kept it private. This time I went live and I'm having it public. So I'm really just going to, allow myself to have my journey and my experience, however it is. And so we're here. So let's get into this. We're 9 minutes in, so let's get into it. Thank you for your patience if you're still here. I appreciate you so, so much. So as I mentioned, the sun transits through each of the gates throughout the year. It stays there for about 6.5 days. Because this is the sun and it influences the collective in this case because it is basically following the sun. So it is influencing the collective. I'm sorry, I was looking at something and trying to talk. But anywho, so gate 47 is the gate of realization, and it is in the Ajna Center. In human design, the Ajna Center is part of the mind, and it is a processing center. It is an awareness center, and it is an awareness center for mental things, right? So when we look at human design, you're going to see, next time I have it, you're going to see different shapes within the body graph, and these different shapes each represent a different mechanics in which is going on within the body. So whether it's mental awareness, emotional awareness, body awareness, you're gonna have direction, love, and things of that sort from the G center. You're gonna have ego slash the heart, which is a motor center. You're gonna have different motors, whether it's the root center, which is also a pressure center. You're gonna have the head center, which is a pressure center. So you're gonna have each of these different shapes within a body graph. It's going to have a different purpose. Every one of them have a job to do, and they all work together. And so in this case, we're talking about the Ajna Center, and in this case, the Ajna Center is going to be an awareness center, and it processes information. So as I mentioned last week, the sun was in gate 64. So gate 64 is in a head center. So we're thinking about gate 64 in the head center. The gate 64 in a head center, it pushes information down into the ajna for the ajna to process. So we are talking about a mental process when we are talking about gate 47. And gate 64 starts this mental process, and it's known as the gate of confusion, as well as the gate not yet complete or not complete, because it's starting the process of the mental process. So it goes from the head center to the Ajna Center. And so we talked about the head center last week. So we're talking about the Ajna this week, which is gate 47. Then we're going to bring it all together. All right, so I have my notes here. So I'm going to look at them just to see where I am because I already jumped over things. Okay. So let's start with the purpose of gate 47, right? So I told you that gate 47 is the gate of realization. It is also known as the gate of oppression. I resonate with the idea of gate realization more because it really does correlate with the experience I've had, and it helps me really understand the energy. Now, as the gate of realization, the ajna is basically taking the information from the head center, which is this abstract information that does not yet make sense, and it brings it to the ajna. So the ajna is then getting the pressure from the head center to make sense of this information. So consider the head and ajna makes up the mind. So just they are together. They are a mental process together. The head gets the information, the ajna processes it, makes sense of it, whether it's logical information or abstract information. Different parts of the ajna will process that information. In this case, we're talking about gate 64, so we're talking about abstract information. This is not a logical process. This is not a linear process, right? This is a process that is naturally happening for all of us, whether or not we have these gates defined. So I do not have gate 64 and I do not have gate 47 defined in my chart. However, I really do understand this gate's energy and this channel's energy. And so I'll talk a little bit about that later, about my experiences, and especially during this transit, it's been really, really active. So as I said, the ajna is trying to make sense of this abstract information, the information that comes from they're making sense of this abstract information. The abstract information could come from experiences, present, past experiences. It really does. Let me wait to tell you that. So it can come from past experiences. It can come from ideas. It can come from thoughts. It can come from anything. And basically what ends up happening is that the ajna is going to process this information, okay? So some of the key themes of this gate 47 is turning confusion into understanding, mental breakthroughs and realizations, right? Because it's making sense of the chaos. It's making sense of things that don't naturally or logically make sense together. Kids, I wait to tell you about that. But it's making sense of information, right? And so it's processing life experiences, past patterns, visual images, thoughts, and mental pressures. So if you are somebody who is clairvoyant, I feel like you may really understand this energy because, right, you may get these images in your head and you're like, what does that even mean, right? Or someone who dreams and you get this information, you're like, what does that even mean? And you wake up the next day and like you have all these pieces of information, but you don't have the full picture. And so what then happens, right? Because that's the head. What then happens is that all of those images and that doesn't make sense or anything else goes down to the ajna, and the ajna will begin to process it and try to make sense of it for you. And then you'll have an aha moment or like clarity or realization. I really like to keep this simple by saying like it's a mental process and naturally happening. I feel like when we are working with the human design system, you can receive information or you can read the information is what I want to say. You can read the information within the human design system. Sorry, because sometimes thoughts are coming through while I'm trying to talk, and like I'm also trying to pay attention to the messages that coming in, so I can like in case it is something I need to share. I want to share. So, let me back up. I already forgot what I was talking about because thoughts were coming in and I was like, wait, hold on. No. Let's focus. So anywho, right. Like I said, like if you were dreaming or whatever else, you wake up and all of a sudden everything, like things don't make sense. And then throughout the day, maybe clarity comes. That is basically gate 47 in action. Um, it's just what it is. Whether or not you have this defined, this is a process that is naturally happening for all of us. The thing is, when we don't have it defined, it's not as consistent for us, right? The processing is not as consistent, or we may not notice it when it happens, right? But because we are influenced by all of these gates, right? Like right now, we're influenced by gate 47, whether you have it defined or not, because it is currently transiting through the sun. And so we know that each of us get to experience this energy whether we are aware of it or not. And so, like I said, right, if you have this dream, you can't really put it together. Later on in the day, all of a sudden, everything makes sense. That is the gate 47 in action, especially if at first you was really trying to pressure yourself to understand it. Because gate 47 is all about it's all about being patient. You have to be patient for the process. You have to be patient for the mental process. You cannot rush the mental processing. And that's what gate 64 and gate 47 teaches us, is that this is a natural process. You have to be patient with it. Things will make sense, but it's not about your timing. It's going to make sense when it's meant to make sense, and just allow the process to happen. Be willing to release the pressure of needing to know, because the thing with the head center is that I remember what I wanted to say. The thing with the head center is that the head center is a pressure center, like I said, right? It's pressure to ask questions and expect answers. So sometimes when people have this kind of pressure, they may try to force something, right? And so in the example of the dream, right, you may try to force an understanding of the dream, but it may be that you just have to wait for clarity to come. You may just have to wait for clarity to come. So that's what this energy is literally all about. I think that when it comes to human design, what I was going to say earlier is that the beautiful thing I've experienced is that I can read something, right? Like I'm currently following the sun transits, right? I did not always do this. This is something I started and I really enjoyed, so I kept with it. And just by making this commitment to follow the sun's transits and learning about the gates and looking at it through the traditional human design lens, as well as the lens of the gene keys, I've learned so much about these energies, and I've grown so much with them, and have awakened to a lot of truths about myself through understanding this energy and journeying with it as it transits through the sun, which automatically gives us connection to it. And anybody that knows me, I am a sun baby through and through. You can't tell me nothing. Okay, I'm the embodiment of sun. I am joy embodied, baby. I am the sun child. So it feels very like resonant that I'm having the experience that I'm having. But even more than that, I like to tell people, like, have your own experience with the human design system, because it will reveal to you different things. It will work with you in different ways. But I know for sure, even when I first started working with the human design system, soon as I started reading, going out into the world, my awareness was picking up on stuff. So I really feel like it like expedite. It it quickens up your awakenings, okay? Because it gives you stuff to look for. It's very specific. It tells you what are some of the things to look for within yourself that, maybe shadows. And you start to see it. You start to witness it. And so it's really that simple. It's not a matter of you doing too much, or you don't have to accept any of this as your truth. You can just become a witnesser. Like, okay, that's what it says. Cool, whatever. Look at the highest expression, look at the lowest expression, and be like, all right, cool. Then go out into the world and pay attention and see if you notice it. That's it. And you'll be, I don't know. It's exciting to be like, oh shit, that really is happening. Like, I always said this, or I always knew this, but really, like, that's how I feel a lot of times. I'm like, I've always said this, and it's really true for me. And it's like, yeah, girl, it is. That's just true. You knew it. And sometimes, you just need I say that human design gives me language for a process I already knew was happening, but it helps me be able to explain it to other people. So that's that, right? So the key themes of Gate 47, let's say this again, is turning confusion into understanding. Remember, this is mind work. This is a mental process. It's connected to mental clarity, to realizations, and making sense of abstract experiences and insights. It's the gate of like finding clarity in the fog. All right. This is all about, I want to say, coming home to yourself in a way, because I do consider this energy about awakenings. I consider them mental awakenings. All right. So the key themes is turning confusion into understanding, mental breakthroughs and realizations, processing life experiences, past patterns, visual images, thoughts, and mental pressures, finding the deeper meaning behind abstract ideas. All right. So the role, I already told you earlier that the head center is the pressure center, but it is pressure to ask questions and expect answers. It then pushes that energy down into the ajna. So the ajna receives that pressure. At that point, the ajna will receive the pressure from the head to make sense of the information. So gate 47 is going to receive pressure from gate 64 to process abstract data, right? Experiences and confusion, and how that pressure seeks to release through clarity. That pressure will then be released once the ajna makes sense of all of it. The thing is, when you're feeling this pressure to understand, there's a couple of things you could do. What I imagine this situation, so I have like what do you call it? It's allergies, but it's not. It's congestion. I don't know what I'd be calling it. Anyway, my bad. I need to get my house tested. So basically, what I was about to tell y'all. The kids are in the hallway, so I hear them. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about the pressure. So basically, in the head center, when the head center pressures the ajna to make sense of stuff, you receive that pressure, right? And that pressure, I remember there's times where I feel like overwhelmed by information. I'm like, whoa, this is a lot of information. It does not make sense. I literally have to say out loud, stop, right? Like, this is a lot. Wait. And then I allow myself to just pay attention to the thoughts. And then I accept that, all right, I don't understand what this all means right now. So I'm going to just let it go. And for me, when I say I'm going to let it go, that is me telling the universe, please make sense of this. I call it putting in my order. I'm like, okay, I have already looked at it. It's a lot happening there. I'm not sure what you want me to know. Please make sense of it. So whether it's going to the universe, my higher self, source, whatever you want to call it, I send it out into the ethers, and I'm like, I know they're gonna give me the information I need. I know they're gonna help me make sense of this. And so that's where I send my information out into the ethers. And so there has been times where, like I said, I feel overwhelmed and I'm just like, whoa, this is way too much information that my mind is trying to process at once. Chill out, right? And then there's other times where I just feel frustrated. I feel frustrated because I'm like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. You know how like you feel like you're like literally banging your head against something because you're like, why is it not making sense? Why is it not making sense? So I have those moments sometimes, and that's like where frustration kicks in, right? And I haven't had it in a while, but I have experienced that, where that's probably why I'm here now, where I'm at a point in my life where I don't even try to make sense of stuff. I'm just like, it's gonna come, because I've seen it too many times. I've been there too many times where I'm like, girl, the clarity is gonna come. So, but I have felt frustrated. I have felt overwhelmed with information trying to process through. And so I know this energy because it can feel very angering. Like it will trigger your anger because you're just like, why can't I make sense of this right now? I want to know right now. But Spirit's like, nah, just know that something's coming. Just know that clarity is on its way. The process has started. Get ready for that aha moment because you know something's coming. All right. And so I say that to say, like, you consider what you could pause this or whatever else if you're listening to the recording, and just consider what that experience might feel like for you when you are trying to make sense of things, especially abstract things, whether it's a dream, whether it's a bunch of ideas, whether it's like repeated behavior that you're noticing, and you're like, I feel like there's something here. What is going on? What does that feel like for you? What is that experience like? Try to like tap into that. Not a logical experience, but when things just aren't very straightforward and you're trying to make sense of it, what is that experience like for you? Because that'll let you know what your process looks like. For me, I can feel frustrated. I used to feel overwhelmed. Now it's just a matter of I'll pay attention to the thoughts for a little while, and then I'm like, all right, I'll get clarity later. It'll make sense to me later. Like I'm no longer pressuring and expecting answers in the moment. And so like this is literally what this gate and the channel teaches us how to be patient, how to understand that this is a natural process that's occurring and we can't rush it. And that just before because we don't have understanding or just because we feel chaotic, we feel like things are chaotic or things don't make sense doesn't mean that anything's wrong. That's the other thing. Sometimes we're just having a human experience and we think the dense energies or everything else is a sign that something is wrong on our journey when in fact it's just that we're on a journey, and that's part of the journey is like things sometimes not making sense and having to wait for that clarity. That is part of being human. That is part of the human experience because even in that waiting, even in that patience, there's a teaching happening. There's a teaching happening, right? We have expectations, but we need to be able to be okay with expectations not happening and not necessarily think the world is against us, whatever that expectation is. Right. So, with that in mind, thinking about Gate 47, I feel like I told y'all much of it. Let's talk about Gate 47 and Gate 64. So, the channel of abstraction. I already told you that Gate 64 starts the process and by receiving the raw abstract information, and then gate 47 is going to take this information and organize it into realizations, into clarity. So basically gate 64 from the head center is providing confusion and chaos to gate 47 seeking clarity. So right, remember I said it asks questions and expect answers. That expect answers is where it pressures the ajna. Make sense of this, okay? Make it make sense is what the head says. And so basically that is what's happening in that process. And so as I mentioned, so the full channel is called the channel of abstraction. And this represents the transformation of chaos into order and moving from not knowing to knowing. Okay. It's such an interesting thing because I know for myself, like I get information in my head and I'm like, what the fuck? And then like later on it makes sense or things start making sense in a process. Like this week has been wild with aha moments and just clarity. Cause I'm like, what? So Gate 47 is really live. And I know that other people have been feeling it too because I've had friends hit me up like, girl, guess what's going on? And they're coming to their aha moments and their clarity moments. And all of it is coming from a place of awakening. All of it is coming from my experiences, my friends. It's all an awakening. It's all about awakening. It's like another aspect of ourselves is waking up to accept that like life is about to change. What are you gonna do? Your life is now different. What are you gonna do? This is what that message meant. This is what that experience meant. These are what all these experiences led up to. What's up? I love life so much. It's so fun. It's so fun. Because it's like all this magic around us, all these things are happening, and some of it we're not even aware of. We just think we're at the mercy of like some big man in the sky or something. You know, some people believe that. I don't know. And that may be true too, right? I don't know the full truth. I have my own truths, but they may not be complete truths, right? They're not objective truths. They're just my subjective truth. But I know from my own lived experience that there's so much more happening than what meets the eye. And there's things that we probably will never understand in this lifetime, and that is part of the process too. Is being able to surrender to the unknown, and that is what Gate 64 and Gate 47 is about too, because it's a process that's going to happen, and you don't know when. You don't know what is going to reveal, and it's all about uncertainty and like being able to be patient through that process and to be able to accept the unfolding of how life is unfolding. Okay, so I talked about the full channel. Like I said, it's really because at the end of the day, all these two gates are doing, I've said it already several times, is that it's moving the energy, the chaos energy from the head into the ajna for processing and clarity. That is like the bottom line of it. That is the whole process of it. And you can look at this from so many different lenses. So please feel free to Google and research and connect with this energy in your own way, because it may reveal other stuff to you. Because I knew when I read it from the Gene Key lens right away, once I read through, I was like, oh, this is a awakening. This is the process of awakening. And because basically once one process ends, another one begins. So this is the process of awakening. That's it. That's it. So that's the journey. You can read more about that on the blog posts. I actually did pull up the blog posts. Let me see if there's anything there I want to share. I guess I can jump to basically how this energy is affecting the collective. So I'll do that, and then I'll share with you my experience with this gate this week. Because like one of the things I want to do is us to all come together at some point and be able to talk about the energy, how it's affecting us, what we are learning, what we notice. So I'm gonna get a different system in place so we could start. Maybe we could start the energy together and then check in the middle and have our own process and be able to support each other through this. Because like I said, I just started this summer, and it's been I'm telling you, my life has changed so much. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of myself, because like things that I've been like procrastinating on or holding back on has been so loud in my face that I can't even deny it. It's even helped me understand how, like, as much as I love myself and everything else, I was making choices that were not supportive and reflective of the love I have for myself. And how, like, sometimes I tend to make choices that I call myself being understanding or being patient, and spirit is like, but why? But why? Why are you doing that? And recognizing that it's connected to some shadow aspect of my ego, right? So it's just so much that we can gain from journeying with the human design system. So I don't know what this channel is going to become. I don't know what this journey is going to become, but I'm showing up. Okay. I am committed to showing up and figuring this out. Okay. So thank you all for being here whenever you see this, because I'm alone. I'm solo dolo right now. So I'm just chilling. Okay. Got my cute phone. Ah, it's so cute. It looks even cute on camera. Okay. So when the sun transits, this is from the blog post. When the sun transits through Gate 47, its influence on the collective brings an energetic focus on the mental process of realization and clarity. This gate, located in the Ajna Center, deals with the pressure to make sense of abstract experiences, taking us from the confusion and mental fog of Gate 64 into a space where we seek to find meaning. The collective energy during this transit is about sorting through confusion, making sense of past experiences, and arriving at moments of insights or understanding. However, with the sun illuminating Gate 47, we may also feel an amplified mental pressure to resolve uncertainty or confusion. There could be a strong desire for answers and solutions, leading to frustration. I'm telling y'all, I've been there. Frustration or mental exhaustion. If clarity doesn't come right away, this is the energy of seeking realizations, wanting to make sense of things, but needing to trust the process. The sun's influence will likely push the collective into a state of deep contemplation. There might be moments of mental restlessness as we work through unresolved issues, or we may revisit past experiences, memories, or patterns trying to find answers. However, the key lesson of Gate 47 is that clarity cannot be forced. It must come organically through reflection and patience. The more we relax into uncertainty and allow our minds to naturally process the abstract, the more profound and meaningful our insights will be. In this collective energy, many people might experience flashes of clarity or aha moments, while others could feel the weight of mental pressure. It's important to practice patience and avoid rushing toward conclusions that aren't fully formed yet. So, really, this is a process of being able to be with the process. You don't want to force it, because if you force it, you may move before the time is right. Like, as much as we think that we know everything, I want this, I want this, I want this, I doesn't mean that it's right for you right now, right? Like, you could want things, but it doesn't mean that like you need it. And we're always gonna get whatever we need in this lifetime. We're always gonna get what our soul needs in every moment. So even though you might want clarity, right? The test here, or the lesson here, may be for you to learn how to be patient and trust the unfolding of life. Trust the mental processing, knowing that clarity is coming, and being okay to sit patiently in peace while the process happens. You don't need to rush things. You're not missing out on anything, babe. When the clarity comes, it's gonna be at the perfect time, and you're gonna know what to do with the information once you receive it. And so, don't rush it. Don't try to pressure things. Don't try to make things happen. Just chill. Choose to chill. Choose to relax. So the collective might feel mental pressure, right? A desire to resolve confusion or make sense of lingering issues. Introspection, reflection on past experiences or abstract concepts, epiphanies, sudden insights or realizations as clarity emerges, mental fatigue, frustration if the answers don't come quickly or naturally, themes of surrender, trusting that clarity will arise when the time is right rather than forcing the mind to come up with answers. The sun's transit through gate 47 asks us to surrender to the process of realization. It encourages the collective to trust that even if the road to clarity feels long or disjointed, the insights we seek will eventually come, leading us to deeper understanding and mental peace. So, I have some reflective questions for the collective, which I will um, read about a little later. At the end of the day, these gates and this transit is offering guidance on how life is going to do what life does. And I think this gate and the channel invites us to a place of peace, invites us to a place of groundedness, because basically what it's saying is that, hey, I know that you experience chaos. I know that you be feeling overwhelmed. I know that you get frustrated when answers don't come. But guess what? That is part of the process. That is part of the mental process. And it is a natural process to happen. And just because you feel frustrated or overwhelmed, or like things aren't making sense, doesn't mean that anything's wrong. This is just something that happens. This is a cycle in life. Just like a lot of things in life have a natural cycle that a lot of times we want to fight against. This is another cycle. It's another life cycle. It has its own natural rhythm. Will you let it be, or will you fight against it? And we know when we start fighting with life, it starts reflecting in our outer world. So if you having an inner battle, it's going to reflect outside of you. So there's that. And it's going to reflect in your perception of what's happening. So just FYI, these are some of these are the things that's coming to me this week. Okay. It's like highlighting more and more for me. I feel like a flashlight is just in me, like, Shadow, where are you? I'm loving it. But it's like, Shadow, where are you? Come out, wherever you are. And it's just a whole bunch of aha moments. But I wanted to tell y'all about, before I wrap up, maybe I should do the journal prompts. Should I share the journal prompts? I'll share the journal prompts. Since I just talked about the collective energy. So something that you can ask yourself, and I already like prompt y'all to consider what that, like, I shared the process with you. Like, sometimes like it feels frustrating, sometimes it feels overwhelming, and what that might feel like and what that might result in for me. So I did ask you to pause and think about that for yourself. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And so some of the journal prompts that you can ask yourself is, where in my life am I feeling confused or overwhelmed? How can I trust the process of finding clarity, even when I don't yet see the full picture? How can I trust the process of finding clarity even when I don't feel the same, even when I don't yet see the full picture? And I mentioned earlier how, like, because I've been through this process over and over, I don't even think I experience the frustration anymore because I've gotten to a place where I'm like, I know in this moment this doesn't make sense, but it will. I know it will. And whether that comes in a week, whether that comes in a year, I know that things will make sense for me. So this gate demands patience and offers the potential for profound realizations, but it also serves as a constant reminder of the human struggle to make sense of life's struggle that is both its curse and the gift. And that's really what it is. The thing is, I feel like so many of us have been taught use your head, use your head, use your brain, use your brain. Like everything has to make sense. But one of the aha moments I had this week with this gate also let me know that, like, some things aren't logical. So let me tell y'all a little quick story. A couple of months ago, I was trying not to share too much detail. A couple of months ago, no, the end of last year. No, the end of last year. I'm sure of it. So the end of last year, I met someone. We just had this really energetic connection. Like I did not understand it. So we're talking to this year. Like we stopped talking, we talk, we stop talking, we talk. Red flag, right? They wave in. Cool. I already knew that, right? So I wasn't trying to be with this person. I wasn't trying to, like, I knew I didn't want to be with them, like, in a relationship or anything like that. But I did enjoy their company once in a blue, whatever. And then at the same time, like, there was just this undeniable attraction. Like, I just could not understand it. It was energetic. It was not. I'm telling y'all, like, we were not compatible at all. Like, we had very rare. We had, I don't even know what we had in common. I think our we had things in common, but they were very, like, surface level things. It was more about, like, the way we operated in life. We did have in common as far as, like, our confidence. All right, you know what? I'm not gonna even go there because I learned later, right? There were some insecurities, and that's whatever. So I just think the way we presented ourselves, like, very confident, very, very strong in our identity. We was not, we didn't really care what people have to say about us. We really just living our own lives, doing what we want. We basically didn't want to be in drama, didn't want to be in mess. Like, we were very much similar in that we're very loyal when we are committed to someone, even if it were not official. Like, we had very strong boundaries for ourselves and how we operated in relationships. And so a lot of things that we experienced, we didn't even have to talk about because we just both had this knowing. It's like we knew each other, we understood each other, we got each other as far as, like, how we operate in relationships and how we show up. So that was, like, cool. I was just really shocked at how, like, energetically connected we were. Like, I had never experienced that before. It did not make sense to me. And I'm telling y'all, when I tell you, I used to be texting my friend, one of my homegirls, my Aries sis. I used to be like, girl, this does not make sense. Like, why am I so attracted to this man? Like, we ain't got no business together. Why is this? Why do we keep, like, and I mean, like, we one time we went 6 months not talking, or maybe 5 months. And when we saw each other, soon as we started talking, we were right back like this. Right back. Super quick. And so I just did not understand it. And so at some point I was like, oh my God, I think that this is a past life situation. Because just the way I would act, like, I was getting frustrated with him. And I had to come to a place where I realized, like, girl, you frustrated with him because you're not compatible. Why are you frustrated with him? If you got the issue, you leave. You leave, or you just accept it for what it is and recognize it's a you issue. So that did happen. I ended up switching my perspective because I was like, you know what, girl, you got an issue. He ain't got no issue. He good. He happy. He chilling. You got the issue because you know that you're not feeling fulfilled. And so now you're just getting frustrated, but you're projecting it on him when all you need to tell yourself and say to him is like, right now I'm frustrated. I need a break. And so when I noticed that I was projecting, I stopped. I was like, oh no. And so I decided, like, hey, for whatever reason, this relationship is here. I don't understand it. I know we're not compatible. For whatever reason, we're so attracted to each other. And so I'm going to write this out. I'm going to see what the purpose of this is. I'm going to write it out. I think it has something to do with a past life. So I'm going to just write it out. I end up getting one of my psychic people to tap into the energy, because you already know. Because I'm like, I'm curious if I'm onto something. And then my homeboy said the same thing. It's a past life situation. All right. I didn't give them no details. I didn't tell them anything. I didn't tell them what I was thinking. I just like wrote the person name. I was like, yo, what's good with this person and me? This is someone who doesn't know my life. I only go to them for like basically clarification. If I'm already feeling something, but I feel like my emotions are in the way of what I'm picking up, I'll ask somebody else. So I have a couple of trusted people that I reach out to, like, yo, what's up with this energy? So basically, he said the same thing. He was like, it's karmic. Like, both of y'all are gonna grow from this. So it was just like, it's karmic. It's you good, you good, you good. This is a lesson. All right. So again, I'm in a relationship. I'm already there. I'm already in it. I had already come to the place of understanding the frustration. Boom. So this happened. So that happened. So then something ended up happening where, first of all, I got exhausted. I was just like, oh man, I got to leave this relationship because it is burning me out. Like, I'm exhausted. This is not fulfilling me. This is not making me happy. Like, he may be happy. I'm not. And I'm not doing this no more. Right. So I tried to, I want to say try because, again, I don't know, because I'm so, listen, y'all, I'm so confused about this relationship. So confused. I have no idea why this relationship is even happening. I have no idea how we even attracted to each other. Like, I'm so confused, but for whatever reason, we keep coming back together. So I felt, listen, I'm gonna let this shit naturally die this time. I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing too much. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not doing too much, right? That's my thought process, is just like chill, write it out, right? Let it run its natural course. Because that's when I also started feeling like everything has a natural flow, right? When things end, they're gonna end. So like, just stop trying to fight it or make it work a certain way. Like, nah, do your part and that's it. So I was trying to end things, and instead he gave me like a couple of days break, and then I ended up seeing him, and it seemed like it was a reset. But at the same time, I felt something was off, and I was gonna ask about it, but then I was just like, he ended up saying something that threw me off, but also confirmed that this is it. Like, we are done. So that's it, right? So I decided, I cut ties. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I didn't say. I wasn't rude. I wasn't disrespectful. I just like let the relationship go, right? And I'm at peace because I'm like, I knew it was gonna end, but I didn't know how, and it ended. And I was too proud of myself for how I responded. So I was just like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I have no bad blood. I don't feel like I did anything wrong. Like, I did my part. I lived my life, and that was it, right? So I like let it go, right? We move on. Again, remember, I'm still confused about why it even happened. Okay, this week. So I'm currently going through the gene keys, right? And I'm doing the Venus sequence. So this week, while I'm reading the Venus sequence, it starts talking about the path of karma. It was talking about the path of karma. It talked about the attraction field, and it talked about the path of dharma. Basically, putting them all together. So when I went to go put my chart together, right? When I put all my placements together, I then realized that the relationships that I'm attracting in is to help me with my dharma. It's to help me with my karma. Sorry. It's to help me with my karma. It's to clean up my karma. So I'm attracting in relationships that will help me clean up my karma. Mind you, I have always said, well, at least since 2017, I've said that relationships are part of my life lessons. I've probably been saying it since before 2017. But my whole thing was like, relationships are part of my karma, like part of my life purpose, like part of my growth, part of my expansion, right? Before I knew about a remembrance journey, before I knew about healing, I used to say that relationships were part of my life purpose, like, or my growth. I did not understand it, but I knew. I was like, yo, every relationship I end up in changes me. Like, I see myself in it, and I'm never the same again. So when I'm reviewing my chart, mind you, I actually have it here. Let me see my notes real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up just so I can. I know. Now we're going to, okay. So the path of Dharma sets the overall tone of the kind of lessons and experiences your soul came to learn and evolve through in this lifetime. And then we have the sphere of attraction. So the sphere of attraction is a part of the pathway of Dharma. The sphere of attraction draws in relationships that help you learn and embody the lessons you are meant to learn. So in this case, I'm here My relationships will reflect lessons around self-acceptance, universal love, and perhaps learning to embrace life with an open heart, even when it's difficult. In this sphere, it suggests that you attract partners who might not always meet you at the emotional level you're at, but who will push you to grow in terms of acceptance and love without expectations. The path of karma, the pathway of karma. This pathway reveals the lessons from your past that you carry into relationships. It's often about healing past wounds or imbalances, particularly around emotional or mental patterns. All right. So when we're talking about the sphere of attraction, right, as part of our pathway of dharma, the sphere of attraction draws in relationships to help you learn and embody these lessons. So, oh boy, when I thought of like he was here to teach me a lesson. One of the lessons was to be responsible for my own emotions. Remember, I mentioned to y'all that I was projecting. Every time I wasn't happy in the situation, I would blame him. I would say that he was the problem, right? Our lack of compatibility was a problem and all that. When the issue was like, it just wasn't aligned for me. And it was okay for me to say that and leave. Like, I didn't have to have a big reason. I didn't have to tolerate what didn't feel good for me. I didn't have to do any of that. And if I would have just taken responsibility, which I had done at the latter part of our relationship, but then I stayed because I just didn't understand how the fuck are we even attracted to each other? Like, what is happening? But some things aren't logical. And I feel like Gate 47 talks about this, where it's like, I wanted a logical understanding of what was happening, but everything isn't logical. And so as I was processing it, y'all, listen, it's so much written here. I was processing. So I was trying to write everything down and like talk to text. I do that too. Hold on. So one of the things it says in Gene Keys, the pathway of karma often involves clearing karmic bonds from past lives or previous experiences. So remember, I said, "Oh boy is from a past like." My homeboy said he was from a past life, and I believe too he was from a past life. These relationships can feel intense or familiar, even when they don't make logical sense. Even when they don't make sense logically, and so I was basically saying, like, it's karma I got to clean up, So one of the things that I was asking Chatty about, he was like, when we meet someone we have karma with, it's not always about the relationship lasting forever, ever, but rather about resolving something from the past, learning the lesson, and releasing any attachments that no longer serve us. And that's what I basically did by walking away from the relationship. I did it from a place of love. I did it with grace, I believe. I didn't have any resentment. I didn't have any bitterness. I honored the connection. I learned what I needed to learn, and then I let it go because it was no longer aligning, or serving me. Um, yeah, it was so, yo, I wish that what's in my brain could just flash for people to see, because it, like, that whole process, that whole relationship made no sense to me. Just because of who I knew myself to be. And then for it to end the way it did, one thing I learned from that is like, you can know something's ending, but you have no idea what that ending looked like. And I will tell you, spirit always gives me a heads up, usually when a close relationship is going to end, or any attachment or connection I have is going to end. I always usually get a head up. But the thing about the heads up is that they never tell you how it's going to end. And so I could not have prepared for the way that situation ended. But even beyond that, getting clarity this week, like, this is all your relationships. And then as I thought about all my relationships, I'm like, yo, each of my relationships taught me something. And I had already been saying this. So I feel like Gate 47 brought me that clarification, like, considering all my past experiences, right? That seem like they don't make sense. They're so random, right? It's not logical, right? Even all my other breakups, it's like putting the patterns all together and realizing, like, I've always been on this journey of expanding and in awareness, because every relationship I've been in, when they ended, I always had this aha moment. There was a time where I had a breakup, and I remember saying to myself that my heart is being broken open for more light to come in. Basically, a part of my ego was dying. And that's why I was hurting so bad. That's why it felt so harmful. Like, that's why I felt like it hurt so much. There was a time where I literally felt like my heart was being ripped out my chest. I have no idea what that feels like, right? Because I never had my heart ripped out my chest. But it's what I imagine having your heart ripped out of your chest feel like. It's like this pull, and it's like it hurts. It doesn't hurt. It's just like, oh, I don't know. It's like this overwhelming, and like you could barely breathe. It's like you're holding your breath. Everything is happening at once, and it's so overwhelming, but it's so painful. Like, I was literally on my knees. But after I let out the cry, after I accepted how I felt, when I didn't run away from it, my feelings, the next moment, back to, I was a whole new person. I was about to say back to normal, but no. I woke up a whole new person, changed my whole life around. Okay, that's right before I went into grad school that happened. So that was right before 2020, right before the pandemic and everything. And I think about all that now, and I'm like, oh my fucking gosh, this has been going on. And like I said, I just started studying, looking into my dharma, my karma, and the attraction field. And so I am still processing, because just last night I got this aha clarity. And so even today I was still reviewing it, asking myself more questions, trying to consider more things. And this is what Gate 47 is. It's that gate of realization. Me realizing that even when relationships don't make sense, it had a purpose, which I know, I believe everything has a purpose. But to like have my chart like align like that with everything not only I've been saying, but what I've been going through, is just like, bitch, I knew this was real, but I wasn't ready for that. And then the other realization I had was about ego. And so yesterday I ended up doing a video journaling session where it was between my ego and awareness. So I allowed awareness to witness ego and whatever my ego had to say. Because yesterday I was like sitting down I was about to meditate. I've been meditating a lot more lately ever since I started following the gates. So I was meditating yesterday, and I meditate using frequencies from my conscious earth, my conscious sun, my unconscious earth, and my unconscious sun from the human design lens. I got this idea from a human design teacher. I got my chart done by her, and basically she gives you all these tips and tools. So I've been using them, testing them out, so that so I can let my clients know, because I also read charts. I analyze charts. I get feedback using charts. I guide people using their chart information. And so, I'm always testing out stuff. I'm always experimenting. I have a 1-3 profile. So I'm always researching and experimenting to see what works, just so I can give other people advice and feedback. And so lately I've been working on, meditating using the frequencies that correlates with our gates and our sun and earth placements. And baby, it's been game changer. Okay. So yesterday I was sitting down and I realized, like, I was feeling angry. So I'm like, okay. Then when I sat with the anger and looked at the anger, there was frustration. I was like, ooh, okay. And then under the anger, the frustration, I saw the fear. And I was like, oh, okay. So then from that, I actually I started to pay attention to what my ego was saying. And my ego was basically like, I'm frustrated because you keep saying that this thing is going to happen, or we keep believing that you're gonna, like, your life is gonna change or it's gonna be different. Where is it? Okay, what if we wait and it never happens? So ego was afraid that if we keep waiting, it still wouldn't happen. But I'm like, first of all, we're not just waiting, we're living. Okay, we're living and we're thriving. And if we look around, our life is definitely not what it was. Okay, we are making progress, friend. So basically, I allowed my ego to say whatever needs to be said. I witnessed my ego, not allowed my ego, but I wasn't suppressing what my ego had to say. I decided that anything ego wanted to say, I would say out loud, and I would allow my awareness to respond to it. Right? Basically, parent it. It was very much giving me inner child energy. Mind you, this is usually not how I work with my inner child, so that's a whole other thing. But that was another aha moment where I was able to recognize that I had a wise witnesser within me that I could allow my awareness to communicate with ego, to communicate with my shadows in a way to transmute it. And so that was another aha moment I had, and just realizing that, like, more things about the ego, about the fact that, ego makes assumptions, right? We can pay attention to ego because the ego has the energy of fear. The ego actually cannot create. The ego is reactive, right? And so, like, it really just shift my perspective for the ego, which is so interesting because on September 22nd, I actually have a workshop called Manage the Ego. Tickets are available right now on Eventbrite. It is on the 22nd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, I am not sure. I feel like I might do it here on YouTube, or if not, Zoom. Either way, you will get the links. And yeah, so I have a workshop called Manage the Ego. And so I've been working with the ego since about 2017. My first workshop was in 2018. You can imagine over the years, so much has changed. And while I was sharing about the ego, about the workshop, and about my experience with the ego, I actually realized that I had a book about the ego that I had not read. And so when I was looking for this other book, I found book Shit the Ego Says, and I ended up starting to read it. And I recognized, like, I truly do believe that we get what we need when we need it. Because this book, even though I know so much about the ego, this book really opened up it's opening up more information for me. It's making me look at ego from another perspective. It's helping me to relate to ego in a different way, right? Like at this point, I'm able to really have a whole dialogue between awareness and ego. I think that's so dope. It's so fun. It's so exciting. And just like even being able to witness, like I have less ego thoughts. Like I don't have a lot of reactive thoughts like I used to, right? Just witnessing the more space I have inside myself to allow the divine source energy to just unfold, to express, right? There's so much space within me now. And it feels so good. It feels so good because I feel like I'm slowing down and I'm not so anxious or reactive or trying to be perfect. Like I'm allowing myself to simply be. Part of that has been letting relationships go. And so a lot of aha moments I've had this week have really been about why everything happened the way it's happening, why things are unfolding the way they're unfolding, why the visions I've been getting. Because I have been visioning this version of myself, and she is just so like, she's so at peace with life. Like she doesn't fight with life. She doesn't get triggered or activated by things that happen. She takes everything in as if it's meant to be, and she has no qualms about it. And that's just who I think. That's who I believe I'm meant to be. I'm not here to fight against life. I'm just here to flow, like highs, lows, no matter what happens. Like I believe everything is purposeful. So why would I fight with life? Why would I be afraid? Like God is in me. Why would I be afraid of life? Like what's gonna happen? There's so many times I thought that shit was gonna go left and it didn't. And even when things went left, I was able to figure it out. So like we were gonna die or keep going. So what is the like why be afraid to live, you know? And so I feel like I'm really walking into that energy and coming to that space. And that's where all the shadows are coming up and I'm be able to connect with the ego in this way and I can just nourish myself uh to accept life as it is and to know that like babe, everything is cool, like all is well. You don't need to worry about nothing. So that's been my experience this week. Sorry, I'm like burping and trying to stay. But that's been my experience this week. I've been having so many aha moments, so many realizations. And I think the biggest ones is, like I said, is like the whole thing about my karma, dharma, and all that. And knowing that there's even a tool, right? Because I never been through the gene keys in this way either. And so for all of this to come full circle, for all of this to make sense, even that relationship where I was like, what was it like? Clearly, I know I learned from it. I learned from everything. And I know that I wasn't the same person once I left it because after the whole situation happened, it really made me like be treat myself way different because I was like, girl, we cannot be settling. We cannot just be accepting whatever people give us. Like, no, 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 no. All of that. But what if it never? Because I realized too that part of me dating the guy was maybe a part of me felt like what if nothing better like because we didn't have anything in common, but as far as like loyalty and the way he treated me, like it was so cute. It was like everything I probably would want. I want somebody to be obsessed with me. Like he was all of that and still like, human. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we were not in the same place emotionally with our emotional intelligence, But you know what I mean? I saw a different side of myself because I was patient, I was understanding. I got to see how caring I could be. I got to see how I wasn't trying to force anyone to change. I got to see myself in a different light as well. And so I'm really grateful for that. I know who else I can be. And that felt really natural and really good to not judge anyone, not to try to force them to awaken or to see life the way I do, right? But I also don't want to be around people who live from a lack mindset. And I'm okay with saying that now, right? Before I was just trying to be nice and be like, "Oh, I don't want people to think I'm better than them." Well, that's their perception. That's their perception, right? That's not my job to try to monitor how people react and respond to me, right? Because whatever response they give is the one they need, right? Like, even if they are activated by me, like, that's their work to do. That ain't got nothing to do with me, right? And so I also I've learned a lot through that process and being in that situation. But I did also learn that I'm not settling in any of my relationships. Like, I want what I want, and I'm not gonna say yes until it's a true yes. And I get to create life the way I want, and I don't have to settle, and I don't have to be like, oh, let me just accept this in case it don't get better. No, it gets better. What the fuck? No, I'm not believing that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna trust because I know what God showed me. I know what God said to me. Call it God, call it source, call it whatever you want. I know what energy said to me. So I know what's happening for me. So basically I had to talk to my ego and be like, I get it. You're scared. You're scared because what if? What if? And you want a life partner, right? Like, that's the truth. You do. You want to share a life with someone because this shit is fun. It really is fun. And you get to enjoy the best part of it because it just gets better and better. And I don't, when I say better, I just mean different. But it's also like funner and more exciting, and I don't know, whatever. Because I don't necessarily think it's better. It's just different, right? That's really what it boils down to. And you get to express more of yourself, right? Because all life is going to reflect is my inner world, and my inner world is like accepting myself, accepting all of me, accepting the highs and lows, accepting the shadows, being at peace with whatever it is, understanding that I got inner work to do. And this is a process and I don't need to rush it. And so when it comes up, I don't need to shame myself, guilt myself, or think that something's wrong with me. I know that this is an invitation to become, to be more of me, to witness the truth of who I am, okay? To witness the truth of who I am, to integrate that part of me who felt scared at one point and to give it some love, to nourish on it, okay? And so Gate 47 has been lit for me. Gate 64 apparently too. This whole channel has just been so amazing. It's been such a great experience, and I'm just happy to have had it and to also be able to share it with you all. So I know I said a lot. I really do hope that this video helps someone, that someone resonates with it, and you find it when the time is right. So yeah, that's the gist of what I have to say. I already asked you our questions, journal questions, and so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll come back through and answer any questions you may have. Let me know if there's any topics you want to hear about over here on Sunny Side Up. As I get more space in my schedule, I will be doing more in different lives. I really do want to get to a place where I share about the different types, and then we start talking more about the whole human design system. I don't want to share. I was going to actually start sharing the series about the types and strategy, but I'm actually having a workshop on the types and strategies in October. So until the workshop happens, I don't want to do that. I'll do like parts of it, I guess, up into the workshop. But right now we're talking more about the ego, and it just so happens that I'm also journeying, having my own journey with the ego as we prepare for the workshop next week, September 22nd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's online. With that said, like I said, 64 takes confusion and organize it into realizations. This is the importance of completing the mental process. Okay, so it starts in the head and finishes up in the ajna. Okay, and the ajna gate 47 specifically focuses on what is this word? Abstract experiences and insights, right? So it's making sense of abstract information, whether it's experiences, insights, ideas, images, whatever it is, it's making sense of it as part of the mental process. Okay. So please, friends, if you made it this far, definitely subscribe. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Join me on this journey. I'm new to it. I'm figuring it out. We're gonna see if I can get on a streaming. I'm gonna see if I can use a third-party streaming site and basically understand a little better how I can share screen. Just so because I mean, a great part of going live is that if I can do visuals, this shit will be lit, okay? Because I can stop, because I visualize things in my head, but I wish y'all can see it. So if I can have like pictures up or something, whatever, it will help. So I got to figure that out, and I will figure that out. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to holler at me on other social media, I am Light to Lead, LIGHTTOLED. I am Light to Lead on, let me see something. I wonder how you like put, if you could put notes and stuff up here, but I don't know. I don't want to touch something and then I'm not supposed to touch it. So I was gonna tell you. So I'm Like to Lead on Instagram, on TikTok, which I'm active on. I actually love TikTok. I'm actually currently on a journey right now to get to 1K so I can go live over there. So please, if you're on TikTok, follow me there. I'm Charlie's Truth, CharliesTruth. And on Twitter, the same name. My website is liketolead.com. But yeah, I'll be back around next week. We are moving into gate 6 on Saturday at like 7:30 p.m. So the blog will be up by Sunday. So that's usually what happens first. So while I'm preparing for the blog is how I prepare for the live. So the research I do for the blog is basically for the live. So the blog will be up by Sunday, and then hopefully we could go live by Tuesday. Mondays, I don't like to put things on Mondays because I never know how I'm gonna feel. So I don't want to say Monday, but if I feel pretty good on Monday, we'll do it on Monday. If not, it'll be on Tuesday. Either way, I will put up an announcement on social media to let you know, and there will already be something pending here. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for being with me. Thank me for showing up and keeping my commitment to share this on video. So I'm really proud of myself. I'm really excited. You're gonna hear that a lot because listen, we all got a journey. We all got a story, and consistency is one of those things that like I gotta clap for, because I can usually be consistent with things that are very, very structured and expectancies like school and jobs and all that stuff. But sometimes when it comes to this, I've had experiences where we can talk about that another day. So either way, I'm excited that I'm here. I thank you all for being here with me. I will speak to you all next week. We will do this again. And yeah, let me know how the energy is treating you. Let me know if you resonate with this energy. Let me know what the tea is. Y'all, we can also go live just to chit chat. I can bring up human design stuff and y'all can just tell me how it resonates. Like, it does not have to be a super structured thing. I'm very a flowy girl. I like to talk, and I like to talk about things that I care about. And so life, our journeys is something I just genuinely care about. I'm always curious about people's path. I used to host a live called Truth Talks with Charlie. I might bring them back actually. But yeah, now that I'm going live and this is going to be my thing, who knows? But thank you for being here with me. I love you all. I'm going to head out. And if you made it this far, please leave me some hearts. Leave some pink hearts. Pink is my color because it's all about compassion. And I love that. I like to say my religion is love with a focus on compassion or kindness, depending on how I'm feeling that day. So yes. So I love you all. I pray that you're well. I pray that you enjoy the rest of this week, that you enjoy the energy of this transit. I pray that you've had awesome aha moments and some moments of clarity that feels really aligned and delicious for you, and that you are ready to journey along for the next season of your life. So I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to those around you. We're all on this journey trying to figure things out. And, you know, if someone doesn't resonate with you, it's okay to send them some love and keep it moving. You know what I mean? I'm learning that as well. We can talk about that another day. But yeah, it ain't got to be no beef. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, you ain't for me. I'm going to move out the way. So I love you all. Take care. I will speak to you all soon. Next week is we're moving to gate 6. So gate 47, how's your mental processing going? Take care of yourself. All right. I'm never going to leave.